guys, today I will be sharing with you my trading ideas about the American and the European market for the 2019. As you know, I was quite bearish and I was expecting to see the market tumbling down in 2000 at the end of 2018, and it happened, especially for the American market. We know that December has been the worst month for the American market since the last 40 years. So I was both lucky and, and good in my forecast. However, what I should expect for 2019, I expect to see the market, in a sort of neutral area for the first 2-3 months, so January and February could be. It's just matter of the analysis of the daily charts. But however, I don't change my view about the overall trend. The overall trend is bearish, so I expect to see the market tumbling down. As I said, in the first half of 2018, the market is a bubble now, right now, especially the American market. So I can share with you my favorite stocks to be shorted over 2019. I'm already short with the following stocks, and I'm starting to see some results. But I'm not going to cover my shorts now, since I fully believe that we are going to see further weakness over 2019. Last week, yesterday, last week and also yesterday, Jerome Powell has stated, the president of the Federal Reserve has stated that he will be flexible with the rate cut. So originally speaking, we should have seen 2 rate cuts over 2019. But based on the pressure from the President Trump and from the pressure from the Congress, Jerome Powell has changed a little bit his statements. However, I fully believe that we will see in any case 1 or 2 rate cuts. And so my overview about 2019 will not change. If it will be 1 or 2 rate cuts, it will not be so different. That's my idea. In any case, many stocks are now in a bearish trend. So we see lower low and lower highs. And when we analyze the Nasdaq index, the Nasdaq 100 index, we can see that actually not only the 50 simple and exponential moving average has crossed below the 200 simple and exponential moving average. That doesn't mean so much for me, and as I've been writing in my book Forex the Grail, it's plenty of statistics that have demonstrated that once the 50 simple or exponential moving average crosses below the 200 moving simple or exponential moving average, it doesn't mean so much. If we analyze the data over the last 100 years, we can see that it's full of fake signals. So, by the way, that can be in any case a signal, but the most important one is that we have seen for the first time a lower low. So I might expect to see the Nasdaq going back to 7,000 points, but it will be just a rebound. That's my idea. From 7,000 points, I expect to see the downtrend resuming itself. And so what about the stocks? For the European market so far, I have some French stocks that I'm shorting, and so far they are giving me good results. For example, Renault, the automobile company, is a company that where I've seen a spike in volumes associated with the long black candle, which is a negative, of course, pattern. And of course, it's in a downtrend since 1 year almost. So Valeo and Atos are 2 very weak stocks. I'm shorting those 2 stocks. So Valeo made some rebound yesterday, like if I'm not wrong, it was 5.50%, but today is losing almost 7% point. Atos as well. Valeo, just to give you an idea, is a company which operates with in the automobile industry, for example, for the components. I have a Peugeot, for example, and Valeo makes the key, for example, for the Peugeot. So it's a company which is related to the automobile industry, and I'm very bullish with the Valeo because I've detected two spike in volumes associated with two long black candles. What happens normally after a spike in volumes is that we might see a rebound, which means in other words that the stock after a spike in volume can rebound on the other way, of course. So if the spike in the volumes and is associated with a long black candle, we might see, of course, a rebound, so going up rather than going down. But normally, usually, that's my experience, 8 times out of 10 you will see then the stock going down again, so it will resume the original downtrend. Same for Atos and Valeo are at that moment two very weak companies for the French market. Also, I would say Crédit Agricole, so the bank, has a very interesting chart, or again in sense of bearish view, and we are still not at my target, so I'm bearish with Crédit Agricole. Concerning the Italian market now might see less weakness if compared with the German and with the French market, and as well with the Spanish market, since the Italian market was a little bit more in trouble over the 2017 and over the 2018, and while at the end of 2018 it was stronger than the German and the French and the Spanish market. So I might see some sort of neutral area for the Italian market. Italian market is moving actually between 18,000 points and 20,000 points. Today is 19 something. Once it will break the 18,000 points, I see the Ftsemib going to 16,500 points. But so far I don't see the Ftsemib, at least for now, for the next 2 weeks going there. So let's say it's quite simple to trade the Ftsemib, the Italian index right now, since it's moving in a range, in a quite tight range. See, different situation for the German market. The German market, has been quite strong over 2017 and over 2018. But once we analyze the index, we see that we see a clear breakup of the horizontal, of the oblique resistance, and for the first time we see a lower low, which means actually that the German market is now in a downtrend. So that's why at the beginning of the video I said that I don't trust the idea to see the market going up for 2018, since technically speaking there are no reasons to think that those markets are going up. Okay, so don't believe to what you read and what you read, for example, on Market Watch or on Yahoo Finance, etc., where it's full of news. Because you have to be, once you trust in the technical analysis, you just have to analyze the charts, and you shouldn't be attached to the news. Okay, so related to the German market, I would say for sure wild card. I have a target which is 100 euro. Now is quoting 140. Lately is changing between 120 and 146, 148. But once it will break down the area 120, and I'm sure it will happen, we will see the price going to 100 euro. Okay, so I'm short with the wild card as well. Then I have two EON RWE, which are again where I've detected as well a spike in the volumes, so they might be interesting. So far they are they are moving in a tight range, so I'm expecting to see the breakup of some key level in order to see the stock going down. And related to the American market, as at the beginning, as I mentioned, Snapchat, but I would say also Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson is getting weaker and weaker. I've detected a double top, okay, which is of course a negative pattern. And there was the scandal related to to a product of Johnson & Johnson. So that day it happened that we have seen a monster volume associated with a long black candle. So again, I expect to see the Johnson & Johnson going down and down. Then what else? PayPal holding, even if it's a good company, I think it's going down to $70 US, and then Altria Group. There are many interesting companies now that I predict going down on the next month. So related to 2019, I'm still bearish again. And those, for now, at the right moment, are my favorite company to be short. So for the European market, I repeat, my favorite short are for Valeo and Atos, and also for Renault, so French companies. Wirecard, E.ON, and RWE for the German market, and for the American market, for sure, Snapchat. Then I would say also Micron Technology, but it went down so much that I'm expecting a rebound before going short again. And as I said, Johnson & Johnson and Altria Group, and also PayPal. Thank you.